Let's just imagine you've sailed for days and days to find a really sweet, secluded anchorage. To make things even better, there's a breathtaking beach just around the corner. You decide to chill out for a while and relax, let loose, maybe even have a few parties. You commandeer the abandoned fishing hut to set up your bar, but run into a problem. You've got plenty of mixers, but you're a little short on the good stuff. Do you leave and sail away to the nearest store, which is hundreds of miles and days away? Hell no.
Okay, so first step of the process is we need to sanitize everything. So here we have our sterilizing stuff, and we use 10 mils of this to 1 liter of water, and we pop it in here, and we use this little brush and we clean it, and it's all good.
Alright, in step 2 of the distillation process, we need to mix our 3 ingredients together that make liquor. That'll be our sugar, water, and yeast. So we get 8 kilos of sugar, heat up 5 liters of water, and dissolve it really good. Pour that, bugs out of here, we pour that into our sanitized jug, and then we fill the rest of the jug up to 25 liters with normal water.
Alright, so our sugar has been absorbed by the water, and the temperature is down to under 32 degrees centigrade, so we're ready to start the next step, which is adding the yeast to the sugar-water mixture. So the first thing I'm going to do is put in our little alcohol meter, which is going to tell us when the brew is finished. So I'll just add that in there. It kind of tells us the amount of potential alcohol that we can have in the mixture. So this one right now is sitting down here at dessert wine, which is good because after we're finished we want to have about 20% alcohol by volume in here before we distill it. So that's all sorted. This is a Alcatech 48-hour turbo yeast, but if we let it run for 5 days, we get like 5% more alcohol, so we're patient. That's what we're going to do. It smells lovely. Alright, so we're just checking on our brew here. It's been 5 days now, and it's starting to smell like really good. It has that alcohol-y beer kind of yeasty smell, which means it's doing its thing, and the yeast is definitely converting the sugar into alcohol. We got some nice bubbles going on, and the alcohol content is all the way at the top. It's strong wine, so we're getting there. Maybe about another day or so, and then we'll be able to run a batch through. Get close.
So this is step 3 of the Delos Moonshine production, and here we have our mash, our fermented mash, whatever you want to call it, and we're going to pour it into our still here, and we're going to start distilling some alcohol.
And then this is the still head, so this is reflux still, and basically the element heats up the fermented water, sugar, and yeast that we've put in here, and then the vapors rise up the column, and we circulate water through it to control the temperature. So we just run the hose from outside into this, and And then since we're in a boat, we put the other end back in the water tank so we don't waste our water. And then we get our pure alcohol out of here and then monitor the temperature here. So let's just So when we run the still, we take advantage of the generator running and we load it as much as possible. So we always do a lot of things. So we're making hot water, we're charging the batteries, we're going to do laundry, and we're making water, fresh water. So I just turned on the desal unit, which is cranking out about 180 liters an hour right now, which is really good. And as soon as it clicks to green, perfect. And we're now making fresh drinking water. And it just so happens that the still takes the same amount of time as the laundry machine, so it's very convenient. So the still's just coming up temperature now to the point where we start to get some of the first bad stuff out, which is the methanol. As you can see, kind of dripping right there. This is the stuff we do not want to drink because it's the first 50 mils. So we'll just wait until it gets up to 50 and then we'll toss that. Since this is basically poison, we save it in little bottles so we can throw it on would-be pirates. Splash in the face of this and then go running. Okay, so now that we've got the poison out of there, everything we collect from now on is just beautiful, delicious, pure alcohol. Most of our alcohol between 80 and 90. We never go over 90 because then you start getting the poisons from the tailings, so as long as you stick in those two ranges are pretty good. I've been running for about 2.5 hours here and we're up above the 750 mil mark, so I think we'll be getting to a liter pretty soon.
Pretty strong stuff. Oh, fuck. I think I could get drunk just on that. Oh my god.
After our distillation is complete, we use activated charcoal to remove any impurities in taste before bottling and flavoring. The filter top is basically just an old martini shaker we drilled a hole in. The alcohol pushes its way through the activated charcoal filter. It takes a while at 1 drop per second, but what you get out is really pure and tastes great. At this point, our alcohol is about 85% and still way too strong to drink. We use an alcohol meter and water from the boat desalinator to dilute it down to something reasonable, like 40%. Next, we break out the kit, which contains all our wood chips, flavors, and essences. We measure and mix different flavors depending on what we're going for. How about a vanilla cherry vodka? Or maybe a delicious fresh mango-infused vodka. Maybe an almond cherry bourbon is more your style.
And what are we doing over here?
Some flavored vodka. It's gonna be some watermelon vodka, right? Some lime in there.
And finally, the most important step of all, enjoying the fruits of your labor.
Tell me when.
Yeah.
And step 2.
So, welcome to step 3 of the Delos Moonshining production. I look like a nerd.
You're? You know what time it is? It's business time.